Y'all can continue.
I was just little podcast had made mention of saying, um, we don't talk enough about women, the hitting or whatever. And Marcus commented and said that they, under any circumstances, little podcast. I guess your concern was why aren't we, if they're gonna act like a man, you treat them like a man, right? Um, but I had just saw something recently and it popped into my head as soon as you said that. I think the reason the messaging is towards the man is because clearly you can win, right? And I understand what you're saying. Like if you're gonna mess with somebody that can beat you, then why are you doing that? Putting yourself in that situation. And I agree. But I had saw something the other day and it tore me up, like hearing that it was a young boy. The mother was outside the house or whatever, and the boyfriend was there and was yelling at the mother or arguing with her. And so the little boy kind of stepped, I think he was like 6 years old, stepped to the boyfriend, like, leave my mom, or whatever. And he said, put your hands up then if you got a problem with it, like ready to fight the boy. And he literally punched the boy. The boy went flying and hit the wall and ended up dying as a result of that. So that popped into my head when you said that, right? And now of course in that scenario you're going to be like, why would the guy do that? Like, that's crazy. He's bigger than a boy. Clearly he's stronger than a boy. Clear, you know what I'm saying? All of those things. And I think that's kind of the same mindset when it comes to women. I mean, that little boy went to him as a young boy, and his mindset could be, oh, if you're trying to step to me like an adult, I'm gonna treat you like an adult. So when we know that we clearly have an advantage over somebody else, the expectation is that you should handle that differently. I know in school, I have a certain level of power over the students that are in that school. So it's on me to utilize that power the right way. And I think for men, even when women are acting up, and again, I'm not giving them a pass. I really am not giving them a pass. I think there's a way that you can handle that doesn't necessarily lead to you, like that little boy, punching a woman in the face and knocking her out. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Handle the situation, because I would not tell my son, stand there and let a woman beat on you. Of course, I would not do that. But I would tell him, make sure you restrain her until, you call the cops, or until you can get out the situation, something like that. But clearly, I know he would beat a woman up. I would not tell him to do that. So that's all I'm saying, is that when you're the one with the power over somebody else, there's a way that you need to garner that power. That's all.
So is it okay? I don't want to belabor this conversation. I think it's getting away from the original topic. But is it okay if I take that a little bit higher than where you at right now? Think about it like this. You're talking about power, right? In domestic disputes, who do you think goes to jail the most, men or women? Men, right? But the numbers say that in domestic disputes, when one person is violent and the other person isn't responding with violence, 60% of the time, it's the woman that's being violent. So if you really have the power to take my freedom away, why can't we make the message and tailor the message about you being more responsible? Hey, listen, you know what this is. I know this guy did this. He cheated on you. He said something. He did something you don't like. But when you get all in his face and all this and that, if he retaliates, now you're going to want to call the police. You're going to take this man freedom. You're going to take him away from his kids. You're going to make him lose his job. You got all this power to affect him too. Power isn't a one-way street, but too long in our community, disrespect has been. Too long in our community, aggression has been one way. when it comes to relationships and domestic situations. We look at the worst things that happen to women and say, see, bad men never touch a woman because somebody has killed a woman. But we don't look at the other 99 incidents that was women provoking and causing those domestic disputes. That's problematic. We have to deal with what occurs more, not what's worse, but what's more. When you mentioned that to me about the child getting hit and all that, all I thought was, are you trying to say women are children? Because there's an absolute difference between a 6-year-old feeling like he needs to defend his mother than a grown woman understanding the difference in her strength and a man's strength and still being in the man's face with the expectation that if you hit me, I'm just going to ruin your life. I literally got a video off the internet. I'm gonna end it right here. Today, I just downloaded it about 2 hours ago. The dude called his girl cheating. He's trying to just get his clothes and leave the house. His clothes is in the washer. She's standing in front of the washer like, no. He like, just move so I can get my stuff. No, I'm not. Why? Because in her mind, she wants to escalate it so he can touch her or something and she can call the police and ruin his life. That is how women move. And it's time out in 2024 and beyond that we stop pretending like they don't. They also have power and they need to be more responsible with that.
So this is what I heard. I hear everything that you're saying. But what you just did was punish a little girl and said it's okay for her to get hit because of that scenario. Okay. So everything is individual. Every scenario is very different and has different consequences. So I absolutely agree with you. In that particular case that you mentioned, those women should be dealt with. Women need to understand that they cannot do certain things to men. I absolutely agree with you. But to say that because you see incidents like this happen, that a girl who is a teenage girl should be hit by a teenage boy who was much stronger than her. And I'm not talking about little hits. We're talking about real force jabs, okay? Mayweather jabs in the face. When I just told you that on the camera, we see her walking away and he walked behind her. And the altercation was between her and his girlfriend. And you because things like this happen, that's okay for that to happen.
No, respectfully, please. You know I love you, Shan, but don't do that. But I'm saying, please, I'm begging you, respectfully, don't do that. Don't create a narrative.
So that's why I'm bringing it up because that's how it sounds. So
right, it doesn't. It doesn't sound that way, Shan. You know why it doesn't sound that way? Because I'm speaking in general. I never once said anything should have happened to that girl. When you said that, what I specifically said is that a lot of times we need to start addressing when women are the instigators because a lot of times they do that. It wasn't about that specific case. Every case needs to be judged on its merits and not based on something that's happened previously. But we don't treat domestic violence like that. If the phone call comes in and a woman says he did it, the man goes to jail based on what has previously happened to other women. Do you have a problem with that? Yes or no?
No, I don't. So yes,
I
have a problem.
You see, you don't even want to follow your own logic.
Okay, listen. No, I'm sorry. I misunderstood what you're saying. Yes, I have a problem with that.
Okay.
I have a problem with anybody lying on another person, period. I don't care who you are. Lying to make up something to get somebody in trouble. Absolutely, I have a problem with that.
Yeah, no,
right. It was wrong. Was wrong.
Yeah, but not even just the lie, though. I'm saying like even if it was a fight, let's say the woman slapped the taste out of me and I slapped the taste out of her right back. She called the police. I'm going to jail. Right?
I don't think that you should go to jail for that.
Okay, that's all I was saying. That's all I was saying. So I agree with your logic then. As long as your logic is sound on both sides, I agree with it. But I wasn't speaking specifically about your situation. I'm just saying in general.